sun in my eyes. How beautiful. Whoa. Good morning, Unity on the river. Good morning. I am the one I am waiting for. You might want to stand up for this one. We welcome Steve Samler on flute. We welcome Irene Tompkinson. Spirit of God is upon me.
Spirit of God is upon me.
community and join hands with the hand next to you and join us in singing Surely the Presence.
Yes, the presence of the Lord is in this place. Each and every one of us, each and every one of you represents the indwelling Christ, the Spirit of God. That Spirit of God that is upon us is you, each and every one of us individually expressing the divine. So let's set the intention today to live to the fullest expression of the Christ that we can. Each and every opportunity brings to us an opportunity to bring forth that love, that true essence of being. And also let us keep in our hearts our guest speaker today, Reverend Paulette, who will help center us in that indwelling Christ today. We are so grateful, and so it is. Good morning. I just want to remind everyone, as we start our Lenten season, Ash Wednesday, we have the Fasting and Feasting book. And I know what you might be thinking, fasting and feasting, but in unity, fasting is letting go of those things that no longer serve us. And feasting would be affirming the true essence of our being. So make sure you pick up your copy. They're on both sides of the bookstore, and I'm going to turn the mic over to our facilitator, Michelle. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Michelle Gallant, facilitating today for Reverend Paulette Pipe, who's with us. First, let's welcome our streamers. Hi, everybody. And also just to remind you that you can watch the services at any time on YouTube, and you can also listen to the lesson on the SoundCloud app and also on Spotify. So it's a great way to just recap the talk, that part of the service, anytime you want. We'd like to welcome anyone who's visiting with us for the first time. If you could just raise your hand. Paulette, yes, another one here. Welcome. We are giving you an information packet and a flower. And please fill out the welcome card and leave it at the Spiritual Resource Center in the bookstore. And a volunteer can answer any questions you might have about us. The flower entitles you to 10% off in the bookstore. So that's always welcome. We bless you and thank you so much for coming. Please know that we welcome all paths to God. Your presence here enriches us, and we are delighted to have you and hope to see you again. Unity on the River is a center of celebration, transformation, inspiration, spirit-centeredness, oneness, and joy. Please hold those truths in your heart together as we say our mission and vision statement. our mission. We're a spiritual community that celebrates the presence in all and awakens humanity to its divinity. And our vision, centered in love, we joyously co-create a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. I have a few announcements for you. Reverend Paulette Pipe will be holding a program on Saturday, this coming Saturday, March 9th at 9 a.m., Oasis of Stillness, a mini prayer retreat. Immerse in the tranquility of an oasis of stillness as our gifted retreat facilitator guides us in ways to deepen our connection with the divine. You can sign up online or at the Spiritual Resource Center, and Reverend Paulette will be our speaker again next Sunday, and she's a gifted person. You don't want to miss out on this. So sign up on Saturday. It's 9 to 1. Is that the right time? 9 to 1. So please come on Saturday morning. On Friday, March 22nd at 7, Corey McLaughlin and Michael Mooney are celebrating the Embodying Soul Dance at 7 p.m., and it's an intentional body prayer. So come home to our bodies and dance your radiance in on the 22nd. On the 24th, on Sunday, Holly Howden will be hosting her workshop, The Soul of Work, the Conscious Career Makeover. Join us as we explore the 9 elements of the soul of work and how to achieve those elusive goals of career fulfillment and authentic success and greater impact. Sounds good. So that's at the end of the month on the 24th. And now it's time to take a moment to greet each other in love with either a handshake or a hug. I invite you to say, I see you, I see your beauty, I see your magnificence and your divinity. Namaste. Wanted to introduce our guest speaker today. Reverend Paulette Pipe is a masterful meditation teacher and facilitator who is best known for being the host of Touching the Stillness, which is a radio program she hosted on Unity Online Radio. If you don't know about Unity Online Radio, check it out, because there are so many different programs there. It's really wonderful, and you can listen at any time. So she had a program on there for 10 years, and the podcasts are archived on the website, so check it out. She was formerly the spiritual director of the United Kingdom Unity headquarters and then manager of retreats at Unity Village. Today she heads Touching the Stillness Ministries, a vibrant organization she created to make meditation and mindfulness both practical and accessible for daily application. She is a sought-after speaker who leads retreats, workshops, and extended meditations at venues in the United States and abroad. Currently, she is a member of the Evolutionary Leaders Circle, a project of the Source of Synergy Foundation. And also, she holds the role of Keeper of the Flame at Unity Worldwide Ministries Board of Trustees, where she silently holds prayer and sacred space during the board's deliberations and decision-making processes at all of its board meetings, so it's a very important role. She is a British-born native who currently resides in Lee Summit, near Unity Village near Kansas City. So I'm sure you're all going to enjoy her. First, we're going to have a little music, but welcome, Paulette.
So namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
I'm so honored to have written a song for Paulette. She had asked if we were specifically if there was music specific to her talk. And I said, it's about faith. And she said, I'm leading with the faith prayer by, what's her name? Hannah Moore Kohouse. So I looked it up, and immediately the song popped out. Immediately. So it's the first time, and everyone else here is just beginning to learn it too. So I hope we'll do it more often. God is my help in every need. God does my every hunger feed. God walks beside me and guides my way through every moment of this day. I am God. I now am wise, I now am true, patient and kind and loving too. All things I am can do and be through Christ the truth that is in me. And I am God. God is my strength unfailing and quick. God is my all, I know no fear. Since God and love and truth are here, and I am
Good morning. Good morning. Don't you look lovely and all sunshiny? Thank you for welcoming me with the sun and not the snow. I love you. And thank you.
Wait till tonight.
Yeah, I can wait till tonight. And thank you to Reverend Ogun, the board, and all of you for inviting me to be here this week. It's my joy to be here to serve. And thank you for coming out today. And thank you for the beautiful music. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Hello, everyone. All right, so my talk today is the power walk. The power walk. So imagine this. Almost 40 retreat guests who have been in silence overnight to kick off a week-long prayer retreat go out on a warm September morning for a silent walk in the Labyrinth at Unity Village. They've been provided with information about the Labyrinth. It's not a maze or a puzzle. It has no dead ends, just one path, one way in, one way out, just as it looks up there. They were told about the winding twists and turns of this ancient symbol that's found in all forms of nature and mirrors our lives. And like life, there are twists and turns where you think you're going one way and then you turn the corner and you end up somewhere else. Or you think you're walking out, but no, it's another turn and you're still in it. It's a path for a walk-in meditation. I actually have a guest who comes to my annual silent retreat, and she confessed a few years ago that she always opts out, and then she sort of runs in when we're coming to the end to make it look like she had been walking. Because she didn't understand the context. Why are we doing this? It's a meditative walk, a walk-in meditation, and we release, as I say, on the way in and integrate on the way out. So in the Labyrinth, we are all equal, wrote Robert Fair. He says, there is no cost and no privilege. It requires no membership, no degrees, no consent to a certain dogma or belief. It is available to all. So I like to incorporate it into my retreats, and here we were doing the prayer experience retreat. So I invited the guests to meet me down at the entrance. We were, as I said, in silence. And I gave them some options. You can stay in the sanctuary and just hold space if you feel like you can't walk the distance, or come down to the Labyrinth, and there are some chairs around, some benches around the side. You can sit and hold the sacred space there. Or if you walk all the way in and you find that you're fatigued or you don't have the wherewithal to make it back out, just come through and take a seat and wait. Or you just join us and walk the entire thing. Well, we all went down to the entrance, and there was a member in the retreat, a participant in the retreat. We were only like a day and a half in by this time, but we had noticed that this particular participant, who was very elderly and walked with a cane, very slow and very unsteady on her feet, but she wouldn't accept any help. So at lunchtime when we were in the cafeteria, we'd offer to carry her tray and all. No, I can do it. So we weren't sure if she was going to stay in the sanctuary, come and sit at the side, walk halfway. We didn't think she would walk the whole thing, but Marion came down to the Labyrinth. She took her time. She was one of the last ones to come down. And so Marion entered into the Labyrinth, and we all continued to walk. So at first, it started like any other Labyrinth walk. Participants were engrossed in their own silent experience. They were all walking at various paces along this mandala of twists and turns. And as we processed around the circle, the warmth of the sun dialed up a few notches. And it positioned itself almost like it was trying to match and line itself up over the very sphere of this hot tarmac upon which we were walking. So as invited to do, each of the participants completed their turn, and they were invited to stand around the side as they come out and line up around the perimeter of the Labyrinth. So the walkers in the Labyrinth began to thin out, and that's when it became apparent that there were 4 people trapped behind Marion. And I use that word intentionally. She was walking really slowly, and they were behind her. So it looked and felt for a brief moment as if Marion was not going to make it. She was walking really slowly and shakily, yet deliberately, and putting effort into every slow step that she took. Meanwhile, those around the perimeter started to get really hot, and so they began to fade and flag, and standing in the sweltering sun. So some of them decided to go back to the chapel and just wait it out in the silence to color in their mandala or pray, meditate, journal before the conclusion of our formal dalliance with silence. But there was a small group of us who decided to stay put, to be the silent cheerleaders for Marion as she finished her walk. And perhaps we were a bit curious to see how this was going to end. Marion, meanwhile, remained unperturbed and focused. By this point, she was somewhere in the labyrinth, and she looked out, and she couldn't see into our eyes, but when she paused every few minutes to wipe her brow and steady her cane, what she saw was anxiety, doubt, questioning curiosity etched into our faces and concern radiating from our body language. Is she going to make it? Is she going to be all right? The Fab Four, taking up the rear, were like sentinels behind Marion, and they remained unfazed and steadfast in their unhurried pace, for now they were matching hers. And I had given them a signal, first, with gestations and then verbally, that you can pass, because this labyrinth at Unity Village, based on the one at Chartres Cathedral in France, has been widened to allow wheelchair access and also for people to pass each other as they move through it. So you could pass, and they signaled back, because they were still in silence, they signaled back, no, we want to do this. We want to follow and hold the space for her. Slowly. Gingerly, the walk continued. We were around the side. Marion and the Fab Four were in the labyrinth. And some of us who were waiting were trying to get some shade from under the trees that didn't have really any leaves on there that could give us any reprieve from the sun. But with every step of her slow, arduous pace, it became apparent that Marion, although in silence, was muttering something under her breath as she looked up, looked around, and took each step. So walking the labyrinth is a prayer practice, as I said, and we engage in it in most of my retreats. So typically, this labyrinth walk with a group of the size that we had of about 40 people would take about 45 minutes, because some people like to really take their time and other people dance their way through. So it takes about 40 to 45 minutes. 90 minutes later, we were still waiting, and Marion was still walking. Mesmerized by her determination, we stood our ground. And then the moment finally came when Marion turned that last corner, and she hobbled triumphantly, defiantly even, to the entrance where I was standing, waiting to greet her, as I had done with all the other participants as they come out, to greet them with namaste, as we did this morning. And she came out and she stood at the entrance and she faced me and she squared herself up like she was uncrumpling a brown paper bag. And she steadied herself into her cane that had supported her on this walk. And she looked me in the eyes and she said, "All things I am, can do, and be through Christ, the truth that is in me." Silence. Stunned silence. Not because of our silent practice, but born out of shock. Because this is what she had been muttering to herself all along when she looked out and saw the worry, concern, and the body language that suggested that she may not make it. Silence at the unexpected volume that came from deep within her, from that place of silence that we had been in overnight. The shock translated into tears, that was streaming down our faces from the relief that she had made it, and the power of her words still echoing through that entire sphere. And again, she looked me in the eyes and boomed out, "All things I am, can do and be through Christ, the truth that lives in me." And with those words, everything in the rest of our week-long retreat changed. It changed like the butterfly effect. Everything else changed after that. Actually, what happened as well is we all filed back into the sanctuary. You can imagine, right, how we had been impacted by this experience. And we go back in, and like I said, people had been doing their different things while they were waiting. And I went to the musician, the retreat musician. I said, "Do you know the Song of Faith? It's in the Unity hymnal that we used to use years ago." And he said, "No." I said, "I really want to sing it. I really want to dedicate it to Marion for the gift that she just gave us and this retreat." So there's this thing you need to know about me. I love to dance, and I got moves. I love to sing, but it has to be in the shower so I don't hurt anybody. So I was thinking, what do I do? And I thought, you know what? If Marion can walk for 90 minutes in the sweltering sun, I can sing this to her. Don't worry, I won't punish you, but I did. I sang it a cappella as a gift. And that was the tenor of our entire retreat. Everybody stepped up and did things out of the norm because of this experience, this power walk of faith. This prayer of faith that this line came from happens to be one of Myrtle Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, happens to be one of her favorite prayers. And thank you again for Meg for singing it so beautifully, but I just want to share it with you. So listen with your heart. God is my help in every need. God does my every hunger feed. God walks beside me, guides my way through every moment of the day. I now am wise. I now am true, patient, kind, and loving too. All things I am, can do, and be through Christ the truth that lives in me. God is my health. I can't be sick. God is my strength, unfailing, quick. God is my all. I know no fear, since God and love and truth are here. And I'm going to read you another stanza in this poem that was found by one of our matriarchs in her, Joyce Kramer, in her possessions. They found a poem that has the last stanza that we didn't know about. And it says, God is my wealth. I can't be poor. God is my true abundant store. God's indwelling presence brings to me health, happiness, and prosperity. So there are many lessons, as I'm sure you can ascertain, that comes out of Marion's power walk of faith. But I just want to highlight a few that stood out for me. The first, look beyond appearance with daring faith. Look beyond appearance with daring faith. And there is a line from the word artist, Marianne Radmacher, that says, "It is the tremble of risk which shakes the spirit, confirms courage, and reinstates daring." And that's what we witnessed by those who were standing in the sun waiting for Marion that morning. That's what we witnessed. The confirmation of brave faith, the trembling of risk that shook and imbued her with a spirit of courage and daring, and in the process also shook the spirit of everyone who was privy to faith's demonstration. That's the kind of faith that your soul is calling forth from you today, whatever circumstance, condition, or situation you find yourself in. That's the daring faith that's being called forth beyond appearance. The other lesson is to have faith in the outcome, and that's what Marion did. When she looked out and she saw the worry and concerns of our faces, on our faces, she went to her power center within. She called on the strength of the I am nature. She knew and affirmed what she believed to be true, and that's what sustained her as much as the cane, as much as the Fab Four behind her. She was sustained by the affirmation of truth. All things I am, can do, and be through Christ the truth that lives in me. The other lesson I take from this is feed your faith. Yum, 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 yum. Feed your faith. So as she looked out at our worried and concerned faces, Marion fed her faith literally with every affirmative utterance that she made under her breath. And it reminds me of a sign I saw at a very pivotal point in my life when I was wondering how this situation was going to work out. And I decided to drive home a different way. And as I drove down the road, I saw this sign at the church that said, "Feed your faith and your doubts will starve to death." Feed your faith and your doubts will starve to death. And then in a recent Science of Mind magazine reflection, the author Eugene Holden wrote, "Have faith in all that you do. In other words, know that you cannot fail. Let's put it this way," he says, "know that you will succeed. Know that you will succeed. Let go of all those things that would act to hold you back from expressing your fantastic self. Know that your word not only has power to create, your word is the power that is creation itself." And then from the Science of Mind founder himself, Ernest Holmes, it says, "To have faith in God is to follow this faith through by having faith in yourself." Have faith in yourself, because all things you are, can do, and be through the I am Christ nature that dwells in you. That means that we make the choice whether or not to be defined by what others believe about us, believe about our capability, the things they whisper and behind the corner about us. That has nothing to do with you, about what you are, what you can become, what you can accomplish. That's not the truth of your being. That's not the truth of your nature. What's the truth of your nature? All things I am, can do, and be through Christ, the truth that is in me. To the rest of it. Ignore those naysayers. Have faith in yourself. Avidly avoid those who will gladly collude with you in a heartbeat. Come on. Come on. You've got this. You've got this. The Lord is your strength. The Lord is your might. The Lord is your power. The Lord is your sustenance. The Lord is your faith in demonstration. And when we say the Lord, metaphysically, we're talking about the I am nature that even created you. You are wondrously made. You got this. Believe in yourself, whatever the this is for you today. Feed your faith with positive words and thoughts. Watch what you say about your situation, because remember, it's all a prayer. Expect only the best outcome. Don't pray for victory and prepare for defeat. Like James Dillett Freeman says, don't pray for victory and prepare for defeat. Stand solid in your faith. You've got this. Expect things to turn out well and speak only in those terms. Recall too those past victories. We have all come this far by faith, leaning on the strength of the divine within us. We've done it so many times in situations we never thought we would make it through, but we did, triumphantly. Think back on these things. Let those things be the strength. Let those be like the Fab Four backing you up as you walk this journey through whatever your situation is today. With daring faith, believe that you have that strength and that resilience to sustain you. And nourish and feed your faith. And I'm going to say this because this is my crusade that I'm on the planet to tell you that you need to pray. You need to pray affirmatively. You need to have a meditation practice. You need to have a spiritual practice. You need to be deliberate in it and consistent in it. And if you think you don't know how to meditate, come on Saturday and I'll show you a few tips and tools. Honestly, it changes everything. We will wobble, we will have our moments, but we will have that indwelling faith to call upon, and we tap into that in the silence. So when you're hurting, challenged, feeling put upon, that's the time that we recede from the practice, if we even ever had one. It's like, I don't have time today, I'm not in the mood, my head's not in it, my heart's not in it, I can't think straight, I can't keep my thoughts quiet. By the way, that's not the point. I just can't switch off, and so we do nothing. But that's the time to do more of it so that you can face whatever's before you, so that you can remember and recall those affirmations, those truth statements, those songs, those lyrics that will sustain you as you walk the path that you are on. Do it anyway. And again, if you want some ideas, go to Touching the Stillness on Unity Online Radio Archives. 10 years worth of how-to. And the other idea in this walk that we've got to pull on is walk the talk. Look, you've got the 5 principles up here, and the last one says, it's not enough to know the truth, we need to live the truth we know. We must walk the talk, do the power walk with faith. We keep taking one step at a time. That's all we can do. If we look too far into the future, we'll scare ourselves and we'll freeze. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other and doing your best. Wherever it is in the hallway, where the door behind you has closed and the one in front of you has not yet opened, wherever you are on that journey, on that continuum, just take one step at a time, and there is light and freedom at the door. And then lastly, allow others to support you. Not collude, not be the naysayer, but to support you. Marion learned as much as we did that day, because as much as she wasn't going to give up and was determined to keep going, the Fab Four, the ones who were around the perimeter, support. And then throughout the rest of the week, everything changed. It wasn't weakness. It wasn't weakness. Allow others to help you, not because you are weak, so that you can remain strong. It wasn't weakness. And throughout the week, that's what she demonstrated back to us as well. And talking about those naysayers and colluders, because we need to be able to differentiate the difference when we're talking about support. I love this quote from Joe Blackwell Preston. Don't you dare for one more second surround yourself with people who are not aware of the greatness that you are. Not for one more second, because you have it in you. I believe in you. You have what it takes to make this journey of change, to complete this power walk of faith, one unwavering step at a time. All things I am, can do, and be through the Christ, the I am, the truth that lives, that is alive in me. And so it is. Namaste. So talking of walking the talk, we're going to meditate. So let's just take a moment, wherever we are in our seats, to put aside whatever we might be holding in our hands or our laps or even our heart. And if you choose, you can lower your eyelids or close them completely. Or if you find that as soon as you close your eyes, all those thoughts and distractions rush into the screen of your mind, maybe you'd like to focus on one of the candles up here on the altar and use that as your focus point. Begin to feel your body settle into your chair as you feel it uphold and support you. Let your shoulders drift down from around your ears. And let go of all the tension anywhere you feel it in your body. You don't need it. Let your eyebrows soften, the cheekbones relax. Open your mouth wide one time to stretch and ease your jaws. And just let everything sink, let go, and be here. God is my help in every need. Whatever burden you brought in on your back today, shrug it off. Whatever you are hungering for, the divine within, the guardian of your soul, will sustain you, nourish and feed you. Look beyond appearance. As you breathe deeply and relax into this moment, let this indwelling presence that we call the Christ, the divine, let this guardian of your soul support you as we feed and nourish our faith. Breathe in deeply, consciously, breath by breath, in the stillness of the silence. In the silence. Allow your next breath to submerge you even more deeply into this moment. If thoughts, sounds, sensations distract in any way, just notice how you respond, and then bring your attention back to the breath, back to the indwelling Christ nature of love. As you breathe deeply, exhale fully. Each deep exhalation supports the next breath in. So breathe and trust and know in the silence, in the silence, in the silence. resting in the silence, I know I can do and be all things. I know that with these twists and turns of this situation, circumstance, or condition in my life, or the lives of those with whom I pray, I will make it through. I have what it takes. I feed and nourish my faith. I look beyond appearance. I walk the talk, and I allow others to support me, but particularly the Spirit of God to be my support and my sustenance. I trust something greater than I can ever imagine will unfold in expected and unexpected ways. Resting in this stillness has fortified me, secured me, resolved me from uncertainty, and with bold, daring faith, I trust. All is well. I've got this. God's got this. And so it is. Take a deep breath. Exhale. One more time, deep breath in. Exhale. And now we begin our journey back to this time and place, aware again of the sounds around us. The air as it touches our skin. The person to the left or right, or in front or behind of us. And that assurance in our soul. All things I am, can do and be through Christ, the truth that is in me. One more deep breath in and exhale. And now vigorously rub your hands together and place your warm hands over your eyes to give energy to your eyes, and flutter your eyelids open behind the back of your hands. Take a breath here. Hold it and exhale, drawing your hands down. God bless you. See you Wednesday.
I have faith. I pray faith. I choose faith. I am faith. I have faith. I pray faith. I choose faith.
Thank you, Paulette. As we take those in our hearts, requests for these prayers, whether they be for a prayer of gratitude, health, challenge, relationship, we know and affirm that the indwelling Christ is within each and every one of these prayer requests, these people, these souls. And we affirm that indwelling Christ. We affirm the presence of the divine. If there are those of you would like to hold in prayer, I invite you to say their names out loud at this time. And we also affirm for all of these names that we hold the faith for them, that they are the true essence of being. If they are having a challenge to see it for themselves, let us hold that truth for them, and so it is. Amen.
I'd like to take a, thank you so much, Reverend Paulette. Wasn't that wonderful? Really, very wonderful. I'd like to take a moment to recognize the prayer chaplains that are serving today. If you could please stand as you're able. These wonderful people can meet with you after service to pray with you for a request or something about gratitude, or simply to sit in silence. And your prayers are always held in the strictest of confidence. And if you have need for a home or hospital visit, we do have that available as well. And anyone here from that team today who could stand? Okay, great. So that is available. And if you have a prayer request, you can put it in the box in the back, or you could submit it online. And we will send those requests on to Unity Village after our prayer team has prayed over those prayer requests for a month or a week. A month. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, and now it's time to affirm our tithes and offerings. If you can gather those together. Breathe in the energy of abundance as we say our affirmation. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. So the ushers can come forward. And now we have another song.
song keeps the flow going. That is with deep appreciation we accept these gifts, knowing that they have been given freely and openly with love, generosity, open hearts. And seeing these gifts go out, helping support the mission of unity on the river, knowing that a portion of that goes out to the greater worldwide ministry of unity, and also tithing to our local community. We are so grateful and say thank you, and so it is.
And we have a few other thank yous as well. It takes so many people to bring together our Sunday service, and we thank everyone who participates in sacred service to help keep this ministry going. Particular angels this week, Malik and Jim, and the Spirit on the River Board. Thank you so much for all you're doing, Terry, Christian, and Tom. The teams we'd like to recognize this week, our maintenance team, the folding team, and the flower team. Lovely flowers today. And the board members, if you could stand and just be acknowledged. We thank you so much for all that you're doing for us. And Wednesday night, we have a service on Wednesday night that starts at 7 o'clock, and this Wednesday is Ash Wednesday. And so the service will be led by Reverend Paulette Pipe, so you want to make sure you come. She has some CDs available, which will be in the bookstore. She'll be at a table in the bookstore if you'd like to greet her and also see what she has. And now, right behind you. Okay, I thought it was right now. Tina Michaud has an announcement she'd like to make.
Good morning. I stand in the presence of spring. So I just have two announcements. One, since it's potluck, after you have your potluck, maybe around 12 o'clock, well, some of you that want to be a part of the visioning process as we move forward with the property, I'm going to be in here to talk about that. And we want to bring up Miss Annie Houghton, please. Today it's Annie's birthday. But she's also retiring from service as the chaplain for home and hospital. She's going to finish with the people that she's with, but she will not be moving forward. So we want to bless her and thank her for her wonderful service and let her know that we love her. Do we have the prayer? So we love you, Annie. We bless you. We truly appreciate you, and we behold the Christ as you.
I wasn't prepared for this. That prayer, hope, love, trust. I trust that as I leave this place and all of you whom I have loved so much and have called forth love from me and service, that you know how much of an honor and privilege it has been for me to be here. When I first heard of Unity, I heard that it was a little weird and strange. Sage McCrane invited me, but she said, I don't know if you would like it. You're kind of straight, and you're kind of an introvert, and they dance in the aisles. But if you can get over that, I think you'd really like it. So I came a couple of times, sat in the back, and said, no, this isn't for me. But I was at a time when I was really sad, and I loved the energy that was here. And I also loved the fact that you pray. You are a congregation and a movement that prays. You really, really pray. A lot of people talk about it, but you do it. You pray, and you cut me. And I stayed. And then I was invited, because I was a chaplain at Leahy Clinic, Burlington, I was asked to help develop and shape the program of the home and hospital prayer chaplain team. And that was such an honor, because not only did people say yes to that and that commitment, but then I got to meet so many people at a time of vulnerability. And they trusted me. They trusted me. And so I thank you for that. I received a card in the mail recently, and it said, I hope you are feeling better. From the Home and Hospital Prayer Chaplain team, how can I help you? I have no idea who sent that to me. I thought it was kind of funny. But it's time for me to take care of myself. It is time for me to take care of my husband, who is in a nursing home. It's sad for me to leave, but it is time. There is a time for everything under the sun, a time to come and a time to leave. And so I say, there are people here to take up that part that I served in. There are people here who can take what I have done and do more than. Feel the Christ call and say yes to serving those who are sick in the hospital, who are lonely in the homes, and be generous. Blessings, blessings, and thank you.
We have been richly blessed today in so many ways, with members of the congregation stepping up to perform and to just everything today. It's been wonderful. So now we welcome in the children with, wait, you have a big song. And then we welcome in the children. Okay, never mind.
So we want to affirm everything that Reverend Paulette said with a brand new song that you're going to help us sing. It's called I'm Yours. We affirm the Christ present within. It comes round and round, so hopefully you'll join us as we get it. I belong to you, God. You belong to me. See, your songs flow through my lips. Your work moves through my hands. Your thoughts stay in my mind. Live as me. Your songs flow through my lips. Your work moves through my hands. Your thoughts stay in my mind. Live as me, and you can have all of me. Have all of me. Have all of me. 'Cause I'm yours, and I give you all of me. Here's all of me. I have all of me. 'Cause I'm yours, oh, I'm yours.
great new song. Okay, now we welcome in the children.
We are walking as a light of God. 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 We are walking as a light of God.
Thank you. I stand in the presence. Namaste. Today, Sarah Donahue continued in a series of little lessons about the 12 powers. And then we did a set of games that were all about your imagination and playing well with others. So I don't know if they knew that, but that's what they were doing. All right. Enjoy your day, and thank you for being here.
Who wants to pray with us today? Okay. I'm going to go back there.
Please stand as you are able and join hands and with us and sing, "Let There Be Peace on Earth."
The presence of God watches over us.